Good evening. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us at the Boys from the Baltic Star. My name is Ben, and with me tonight is the wonderful Ewan. How are you, Ewan? All right?
Hello, Ben. Yes, I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. I'm excited. We're
Yes,
just
me.
talking about how much we've been enjoying this one.
Yeah, me too. I have been enjoying this one, and I think there's something nice about it being. It's got a slightly more modern style, but the setting is very classic fighting fantasy dungeon crawl adventure, and I think that's quite a nice
Hmm.
balance.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So, a quick update as to where we are. So, I think headlines. Point one, we're clearly doomed. So, moving on from that, we are playing a brand new fighting fantasy gamebook called The Dungeon on Blood Island by Ian Livingstone. Now, the functional reality is that we started brightly and we made it
Mm.
all the way through our first session and then called a pause. But things are not looking good in the stats department. So, those who are familiar with fighting fantasy books will know that you start with between 7 and 12 skill, with between, can't do maths now, 14 and 24 stamina, and between 7 and 12 luck.
Yeah.
So, Ewan, how about you tell us your character? How are you doing
Mm.
on skills, stamina, and luck?
Where I currently am is very interesting. Not necessarily where we started off. Certainly not in any of them, actually. But I'm currently on 7 skill, 16 stamina, and 3 luck.
3 luck. Excellent. So,
Yes.
so it is entirely possible that luck is not your friend this session.
No, very much so.
On the other hand, I look enviously at your your 7 skill because I have a mere 6. Your 16 stamina seems absolutely luxuriant to me since I have a mere 13. And bear in mind, that's fully topped up, having had a meal and everything. That's as high as it's going to get.
Yeah.
My luck, on the other hand, is 9. It is one that is technically rollable at the beginning. So that's the
Yeah,
one.
that's true. That's true. You should be proud,
Yes.
thankful, something.
I also have a luck potion, but if you recall, in this one, it doesn't allow you to use that to boost your starting luck by 1.
Yes, I
So
do
all I
remember
can
that.
do with it is top me back up to an 11, which is not, epic, even though I rolled a 12 to start with. So I'm
Mm.
doing okay on luck. I cost myself a point of luck because I rolled poor stamina and poor skill. So I
Yeah.
decided to trim my stamina less than I would have otherwise had to do. But I did take one off my skill as well, and then since then I've lost 2 more skills, so I'm down to 6, which is awful. Still, here we go. It could be worse.
It could be.
Yeah. So the story so far, we have set on the task of dealing with this trap filled, monster filled dungeon, the dungeon on Blood Island, because fame and fortune, and it's essentially in the same narrative story sequence as Death Trap Dungeon and Trial of Champions.
Yes, it's a rival, in fact, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a
I
rival
believe.
dungeon because apparently Death Trap Dungeon, which we dismally failed at
Did
twice,
so well in. Oh, yeah, you're right.
was far too easy. So they made it tougher for Trial of Champions, which we died at
hmm
3 times,
Yeah, rather quickly, I believe.
twice before actually getting to the dungeon.
Yeah, yeah, that is correct.
And then, this one was supposed to be tougher still. And in our defence, we actually did make it through the sort of Trial of Champions equivalent this time,
Yep,
and
we made it here.
have made it into the dungeon. So we're doing arguably at least as well as we've done on any of this series of books.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yes.
Very much so.
So on that basis, we have a fairly obvious procedure to go down, because we find ourselves having fairly recently taken a horrible hit from a nasty statue that we completely misunderstood. We are wandering down a corridor, and the description says, the corridor turns sharply left and you head east until you come to another door in the right-hand wall. You listen at the door but do not hear anything. If you want to open the door, turn to 272, and if you want to carry on walking along the corridor, turn to 179. But I think we all know from long experience that there are rules under which we play these games, and opening doors is like rule one. It is the rule. Above all others, we open doors unless they are natural doors, like cave mouths and things like that. Because horrible monsters and snakes and things lie in there, and they strip you of all of your points, and you die embarrassingly quickly after that.
Lions and tigers and bears sometimes.
All sorts of things, yeah. And on one occasion, I seem to remember a dragon. That wasn't great either.
No.
So, we do want to open the door, and we will turn to 272.
Indeed. Did you say right-hand wall? Because I believe
Yes.
I may have misplaced that last room at the end of our last session. So I've just done a quick little amendment to the map, and I believe that is more accurate.
Excellent.
As to where we were at.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, so we are going to 272. Okay. All right. So let me just see if I can give us a smidgen more of that, because we're sort of drifting off the screen a bit, and that's my fault. So we'll do that, and then the door opens into a large room that appears to be an old library. There are floor-to-ceiling wooden bookcases lining the walls, and bookshelves set in rows on the floor, all crammed with dusty, leather-bound books. There is a musty smell in the cool air. Cobwebs hang from the shelves, and the floor is littered with paper and debris. If you want to look at some of the books, turn to 31. If you'd rather close the door and carry on up the corridor, 179. So the choice we have is pretty obvious, if you ask me. We can, we can treat the books as if they are doors or not. But I have to say, given that this is a dungeon that's supposed to be a challenge and a series of traps, I am not convinced it has a municipal public library.
It seems odd. I will give you that. At first, I thought, well, both of the choices here involve doors because books are doors, and then I thought, well, books are natural doors because they're made out of trees. But then I suppose they have been manipulated as a wooden door would have been, which we wouldn't class as a natural door because whilst it is made out of naturally occurring substances, it's been made into a door. And so, no, yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I'm back to the point that actually I think both of these are doors.
And honestly, if we'd walked in and it had said, there's a chest on the floor, do you want to open it? I don't think we'd have had any hesitation, would we, in saying, let's find out what's in the chest?
No.
So maybe let's find out what's in the book is kind of a similar approach.
Though I do think that there is a difference. I'm not sure why there are chests in dungeons, but it's a well-established trope. Books less so, slightly more suspicious. I'm going to be honest. I've got no no preference here as to what we do. I'm really unsure at this point.
I'll tell you what. Let's roll a die and find out. Okay. Let's
Yeah,
say odds
sounds
will
good.
read a book.
That is quite odd.
And that was a 6. So
Oh no! Well, now we'll never know.
now we'll never know what was in the books. Okay,
Okay.
so I mean, obviously we're not actually bound by that. If you really want to know what's in the books, and it is possible, remember, that what's in the books is something that reverses the horrible damage that was done to our stats.
Oh, because we were cursed, aren't we? Is that? Am
Yeah.
I right in thinking that?
So it is
If
possible,
we're
right?
looking for somewhere to remove a curse. What have I got written down in my notes? Anything about curse? Don't choose 5, which I think we've already done.
I think we've done that. Yeah.
Red hair, green pants is a thief, and we should ring the bell.
Yes. Use the bell if because he's unfriendly.
Yeah.
And yes, stay alive. Don't choose 5. But I'm pretty sure we've already done that. Though to be fair, that may come later. We may have not chosen 5 for completely random reasons.
That is true. That is true. And the only other thing I've got is that we've got a silver ring with 111 on the inside,
We have.
which doesn't sound very Dewey Decibel.
It doesn't. And we do have a bit of a bad reputation with these kind of things with numbers on them, because we usually get to the end and you have to have a certain number of these rings or something, and we don't have the right ones, or we don't have enough of them, or something.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, you've kind of swayed me, I think, with the curse.
You think we should try the book?
I'm kind of thinking we should. I know it goes against the role and everything that we hold dear in these games.
Yeah.
Should we not? I'm so indecisive tonight. Oh.
Oh God, I can't decide.
And now we've hyped it up too much, so there's too much pressure.
The good news, I suppose. Yeah, you see, Sparrow thinks there's a powerful curse on us. It's probably worth the risk, and I'm tempted to agree, because what's the worst that happens, right? And at least now we've talked about it so much, we will remember this when we play it through again.
That's true. That's true. All very good points. Both very good points. Good points. Go on then.
All right, let's try it. Let's open a book.
Or some books.
Or some books, yes. Look at some of the books. Turn to 31.
Oh, see, it just says look at them. We don't have to do anything else.
Okay. You scan the shelves quickly and see spell books, treasure books, history books, mythology books, books of maps, books of monsters, books on the undead, books on the heroes of Alancia, books of artifacts, books of potions, and more. There are hundreds of books in the library, of which 3 titles intrigue you the most. We basically have 4 choices here. So we have 3 books that we can open, or leave the library. Okay, so we still have a "are you sure" option.
Yes.
So the books we are offered are Dead and Undead, Mages and Magic, or Dungeon of Despair.
Not Rudy Otto's. I forget the title now.
Fighting
Triumphs
the forces of evil, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yes.
Disappointing.
Yeah. These would all make good pamphlet titles, I think, for Rick. if I need to add more of those. Okay. So, Dead and Undead, Mages and Magic, Dungeon of Despair, or leave and head up the corridor. What do you think?
See, I'm going to say Dungeon of Despair. That's where we are, right? Information is good. It could lead us some more information.
That could give us a
It
clue. Yes.
Tell us the nature of the mirror that cursed. Was it the mirror that cursed us, or was it the thing we picked up?
I think it was the mirror we looked into, wasn't it? Yes.
Anyway.
Because we thought it was a basilisk or something, didn't we? So we looked into the mirror and that proved to be bad.
Yes. Because there was a stone statue of somebody.
Yeah.
That might not have actually been somebody. So that might tell us the nature of that, or give us some information about things further on down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Mages and Magic sounds very remove cursey.
Yeah, it does.
I like that. I'm not too sure about the undead.
Dead and undead.
Dead and undead.
Yeah.
Though again, that could potentially have some useful information, or be a double bluff, I suppose, if we're going to game it.
Well, I'm tempted. I mean, what we don't know, of course, we may open one and then it may offer us a second go, of course. Would you like to now open this one?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm tempted to say, let's give Mages and Magic a go in case that's a curse lifter.
Yeah, I mean, it seems the most obvious.
Yes.
Given the information.
And because it's the most obvious.
that's concerning. Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, let's try it. Mages and Magic and see what happens. It's the one both you and I thought might be curse lifting, kind of. So we will open the book entitled Mages and Magic and turn to 263. When you take the book off the shelf, it begins to give off a shimmering green glow. If you still want to open the book, turn to 216. And if you want to put the book back on the shelf, and haven't done so already, you can either open Dead and Undead or Dungeon of Despair, or give up the whole thing. So here's the thing. That is now the second or third time it said, "Are you really sure?"
Yeah, that's true. I was, for a minute there, Ben, I was really thinking after the green glow, you were going to say, if you are cursed, you are no longer cursed. Congratulations. Yeah. You win the game.
Yes, you win. Well done. There's a part of me that says, look, we've come this far, we've made a decision, we back ourselves. And there's a part of me that says, Mr. Livingston has offered us 3 separate opportunities to say, don't want the library, or I've read the titles and I don't want any of those books, and I've now picked up a book, and it's glowing green, I don't want to open that.
Well, yeah, we had, do you want to enter? Do you want to look at the books? Do you want to look at a specific book? Now this book is growing green.
Are you sure you want to open this?
That is a lot of, a lot of are you sures, to be fair.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, this is a magical realm, right? Maybe lots of books glow.
Yeah, I mean, without the context of how familiar we are with glowing books, it's hard to say.
I mean, maybe it's only thematically a book and it's actually a Kindle, and that's why it glows.
What were the other options?
Dead and Undead and Dungeon of Despair. And it has still offered us the option to just leave the library as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking a couple of things. One is maybe what we do is we try Dungeon of Despair again and see if that one glows green. Because if that one doesn't give us a "Are you sure?", it's possible that Dungeon of Despair will also tell us how to remove the curse, because this is the dungeon we're in.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. That's a good plan, seeing as we have still been given the options.
Yeah, and then if it doesn't give us something good, if it doesn't help us a great deal, then we can always come back to this book, I think. Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a go.
The logic works.
So we will try to open the book entitled Dungeon of Despair and turn to 152. You begin turning the pages and soon realise that it is a book about the construction of Lord Carnus's dungeon. There are mentions of locks in the bowels of the dungeon and warnings about dragons and demons. Puzzled and wanting to learn more, you skip to the back of the book where you find floor plans of the dungeon. You recognise the entrance and the tunnel, staircase and corridor that led you to the library. On the next page, you see that the east corridor you're in turns north and ends at what looks like a chute down to a tunnel. The following page shows that the north end of this tunnel has 2 rooms off it before coming to a rope bridge over a ravine. The tunnel continues north with another room off it before ending at a T-junction. The rooms on the left side of the tunnel are marked Candle Room and Spider Pit Room. The room on the right side is marked Firewood Room. You turn the page, but much to your annoyance, the remaining pages have been ripped out of the book.
Could you briefly...
Yeah. Okay. So...
East, north.
Okay, it says, the east corridor you are in turns north.
Yeah.
And ends at what looks like a chute down to a tunnel.
Interesting. Okay. Let me do some kind of chute at the end. Yep. Gotcha.
So potentially, that's good information. I mean, potentially.
Yeah. Hi, IMT, by the way. We are still alive in the dungeon on Blood Island. We just found out some useful information about the map, or our way ahead.
Yes.
Do go on, Ben.
Okay, so it then says at the north end of this tunnel has 2 rooms off it before it comes to a rope bridge over a ravine.
Wait. The east tunnel turns north to a chute.
Yeah, and then that chute leads to a tunnel, which I guess continues north.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Let's say that that goes back down again then, presumably. To the other floor, to another tunnel that goes north. Yeah, okay. And then there's a bridge at the end.
Yeah. And there are two doors off that before you get to the rope bridge.
Why, yeah. Which sides?
It doesn't say. It then says the tunnel continues north with another room off it and then ends at a T-junction.
Wonderful. Continues north, ends at the T-junction. You see there's another door off of it when it goes north. Cool.
Okay, and then it ends at a T-junction And then the rooms on the left side of the tunnel. Okay, so that implies that the first two are one on the left and one on the right,
Yeah.
and the second one is on the left.
Right. Gotcha.
So the
Which
ones
is
on the
the other
left
side
side
of
are
the...
candle room and spider pit room, and on the right side is firewood room.
Okay, but it doesn't say which order. Because one was before the bridge, wasn't it? And one was after.
Yes, that's right. So I think there's one on each side before the bridge, and then one
Yep.
on the left afterwards.
Wonderful.
That's the way I read it.
Yeah. And the one on the right is definitely the firewood room.
Yes, that's
Cool.
yes. The one on the right side is marked firewood room.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So then it says, if you've not done so already, you may open the book entitled Mages and Magic or the one entitled Dead and Undead.
So one of these is going to be the you can't open any more books book.
Because you're
Would you
dead.
say? Well, maybe. Yeah. So seeing as we know we've got an option to back out of one of them, do you want to try the other one? Traditionally speaking, we do get a back out before we die. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. My apologies.
Okay, so we either go back to Mages and Magic, accept that it's going to threaten us, press on, or we go for Dead and Undead and quite possibly, as the title suggests, die.
Yeah, it's a tough choice, to be fair. Part of me thinks go back. I mean, the green glow isn't necessarily a bad thing.
What?
Am I more scared by a green
What
glow?
logic are you using for that?
Well,
why are green glows a good thing and, orange ones bad?
I'm glad you asked that, Ben. It's because green is the colour of nature and trees and all things that are good in the world.
Isn't it
And
also the
natural
colour
doors
of
are
Disney
definitely not.
villains and bubbling cauldrons?
Yeah, that's true. And natural doors are definitely not death for us. Is it more scary than the title of the other book? Dead and Undead. Not sure. Or do we cut our losses and leave?
I was trying to think if,
Well, it's not even
if
that.
anything we've seen implies...
We've seen that there's undead here. Is that what you're thinking, or?
Yeah. We haven't seen any...
Skeletons, corpses.
We've seen, hints of stuff like that, so maybe...
Further on.
Yeah. Or maybe, Dead and Undead, as the name suggests, literally just kills you and turns you into a zombie.
Yeah. Or brings back loads of undead into the library.
Yeah. Summons undead into the library. That would be bad.
Study session. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Go. That sounded very poignant. Like you've made a decision.
I am a believer in, go with your first answer. So I think we should open the Mages and Magic one.
Yeah. And Sparrow thought it was a good idea.
Yeah. That's true.
It always ends well.
Yes. Why not? Okay. Sparrow did give us a hint, and the hint was do what I tell you. So let's do it.
Yes. Yeah.
We will open Mages and Magic, turn to 263, and it will probably say, "Are you sure?" again. Which, admittedly, in a slightly roundabout way, would mean yes, it glows green. So, by my reckoning, we have now reached the point where, in order to get to this point, we've had to open the door,
Yeah.
choose to look at a book,
Yeah. And
pick
not
that
leave.
book,
Yeah.
pick
And
a
not
different book,
Yeah.
then pick this book again,
Yeah.
and then go for it. It has given us an infinite number.
And I think every single choice had a "you can just leave if you want" option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
So you're right, Ben. We do only have ourselves to blame.
we only have ourselves to blame. But I feel if that's what we end up doing, then we'll blame ourselves. I don't think we've done anything intrinsically dumb. So
Yet.
let us open the book and see what on earth it says. It says, "Do you still want to open the book?" We will still want to open the book. 216. Let the cards fall where they may. The
Keep your fingers crossed.
Alia Jacta Est. You take a deep breath and open the book. That's amazing. You literally did take a deep breath.
That's exactly how we felt.
Yeah. The first chapters are histories of good and evil wizards, sorcerers and necromancers. The other chapters feature lavish illustrations of ingredients that you think are for making potions. Frustratingly, most of the words are in Elvish, which you are unable to read, but there is some mysterious handwriting in large red letters on the last page of the book that you are able to understand. If you want to utter the words Scoob Edils Tuo, turn to 66. And if you want to put the book back on the shelf, and you have not done so already, you can open either of the other books. Or just leave. Now, as it's easier for me because I can actually see it written down, but Scoob's Edils Tuo is books slide out, written backwards.
Yes.
So does that make...
Or outslide books, I suppose, if you're reading it entirely.
Yes, outslide books, perhaps, if you're reading the whole thing. So, does that mean we're going to get pelted with flying books? Or does it mean there's like hidden books or something else that will be revealed? And it is still offering us the chance to abandon that and go for Dead and Undead.
Yeah. Or just to leave.
Yeah.
It's another option.
Exactly that.
I mean, if we weren't in a gigantic library that is well established with loads of books, I mean, they're all scattered around anyway, right? So does that imply that this has been read?
They are. Maybe it's been done before.
Does it mean it can happen again? I don't know.
There's a part of me that says, it does say books slide out, but maybe what it actually does is make like one book that we completely ignored just slide out proud of a shelf. And that's the one we really need in order to solve our curse problem or whatever.
Yeah, or maybe it's a hidden book in a library, and in order to find the book, most people have to say these words.
Because I'm getting to the point where this is the sunk cost fallacy, isn't it? We've invested so much time now in this book.
Yeah. If we just leave now or read the other book.
Yeah, we're going to always regret it, I think.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You've
We
sold me.
we will utter the words Scoob Edils 2-0 and turn to 66. 66 is fine, I'm sure.
Sounds like a good number.
Does. You say the word softly, and almost immediately one of the panels in the bookcase set against the far wall begins to slide forward. There is an alcove behind the bookcase, where you see a small wooden box on a stone shelf. You shake the box and hear something rattle inside. Great, so this is going to add more stuff. We can open the box, or leave the box and open Dead and Undead, or it does actually offer us leave the box and open Dungeon of Despair, but we've already done that, or just leave the library. So, open box, open Dead and Undead, or leave the library. Yeah, Luke is very confident that this is a door.
I mean, if we were heavily invested before, we're certainly even more so now. I think I'm less inclined to think that we're going to cure our curse per se at this point because there aren't any books involved. But I still think it's worth doing at this point.
Yeah. Yes, Sparrow's clearly right. This is a door with an attached portable room. So we will open the box, turn to 192, but we've barely given this any thought, therefore it will clearly be the one that kills us.
Yeah, that's typical, isn't it? Glorious.
Okay.
No, don't laugh.
Just the first sentence. You lift the lid and suddenly feel a sharp pain in your wrist. You've triggered a dart trap. Lose 2 stamina points. Okay.
Oh, that's not too bad. We've had worse.
Says you luxuriating in 16. I have 13.
Not anymore. I'm now on 14.
And I'm on 11. A stubbed toe could now kill me. Okay, where are we? Here we go. Now, you have to roll 1 die.
Oh.
I have rolled a 1.
Mine's a 4.
Okay. It says,
a...
if you roll a 6, you must also lose 1 skill point.
Phew.
We did not have many of those to spare.
No, we certainly did not. And they have a serious knock-on effect when they get lost. The rest of the dungeon. Should there be a rest of the dungeon?
Trying to ignore the pain, you pull the small dart out of your wrist and look inside the box to find a small, solid copper ball that is edged with a dragon motif. Okay. You put it in your backpack. Okay. So, copper ball. With dragon. A Dragon Ball, some might say.
I like it.
So, I think you're right, Sparrow. Dragons have been mentioned simply too often for them to not turn up now. So we have
supposed to summon one to help us out.
We have exactly 2 remaining choices.
Yeah.
We can open Dead and Undead.
Yeah.
Or we can leave the library.
Well, at its base, we've found a good book, a questionable book with a bit of a downside, but probably an upside later if we survive that long.
Maybe.
Which to me implies that the third one will kill us, but that is not always the case, I'm sure.
I suppose the thing that's making me wonder is the one skill point. Because if either of us had rolled a 6, then that wouldn't just have been a slightly nasty thing. That would have been a bad thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we still have no idea whether the copper ball with dragon motif is useful.
We don't.
We've
So-
often made it through a whole dungeon without even
Yeah.
thinking twice about the thing we picked up
I mean,
ages ago.
and it may be useful, but not on the route we eventually end up taking, assuming we live long enough to take a full route.
Of course.
I'll tell you what, I think we should read the last book, but I'm going to eat a provisions first.
Oh yeah, that's true. It takes up 4 points, doesn't it? I'm only on 3, but to be fair, I've still got 9 provisions left, so I may join you.
And in
And go back
fact,
to-
this may be dumb, but I'm also going to take my luck potion and top my
Just
luck
in
back
case.
up to back up to 11. Sorry, just in case.
I do.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we will open the book entitled Dead and Undead, and it will just say, doesn't matter what you've eaten, doesn't matter what potions you've taken, you're just dead. Turn to 248. 248. Okay. The pages in the book are yellow and brittle, and some fall apart when you touch them. The book is full of descriptions and illustrations of undead creatures and tortured souls. On the centre pages there is a pen and ink illustration of a long-haired man in tattered clothing, who is chained to a dungeon wall with his head bowed. There are some words below the illustration in a language you do not understand, which read, Nush Na Ma Ga. If you want to say the words out loud, turn to 307, and if you want to close the book, turn to 179. And 179 is literally close the book, leave the library. And here's the thing.
Because it's written down in front of you, Ben.
Not actually that. Nashna and Rag could be the last
okay.
one. Shun and
Oh, okay, maybe not then.
Rag. Or
No, maybe not.
no. But the thing that did occur to me is this. Yes, it's a good idea. I'll type it into chat. It is Nash. Like that. Okay. But here's the thing that occurred to me. This one does not say, would you like to close the book and, if you haven't already done so, take a look at Dungeon of Despair or whatever. This is the only book, because we've opened all 3 now, that hasn't said, do you want to have another go at a book? It just says, read it or get out of the library. And I don't think it can know that it's the 3rd book that we've picked up.
No.
So for some reason, this one does not offer us the option to go on to another thing.
Book. We leave or we read.
And
which must mean it's a good thing, and it's better than both of the other books combined. And once you've read it, you wouldn't even want to think about reading the other books because you're so amazing and powerful and about to complete the dungeon. Maybe you just complete the dungeon. Maybe this is it. Although I'm betting probably not.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Garmination. I can't think of what it implies or anything like that, I'm afraid. I'm sure it does mean something.
Hmm.
I'm tempted to say the first word could be shun in some mixed up way. How about it's gush? No, no. Um, don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a tough call. What do you think?
Yeah. Don't know, Ben. You know me. I suffer from the strongly from the fear of missing out in these games. But this has all of the signs of things are about to go badly, as you so rightfully pointed out.
So, yeah.
Or at least go somewhere else. I mean, maybe I guess this isn't the final decision. Like you read you if you know what I mean, like you read it and it leads to something else, and then at the end of that something else, you have the option to read the other two books
Um, yeah. I mean,
potentially.
I suppose the ultimate choice here
It's not giving
is
you a well, it's giving you an are you sure, but it's a very binary one.
uh, log. In my head, logic says we got lucky once with a book. We got the good book.
Yeah,
We got potentially a bad book. Do I
yeah.
think this is a second good book or a second bad book or an even worse book? But
The Book of the Dead, in fact.
unlike the other one where I could kind of interpret what the words meant a bit,
Mm,
this could just be a straightforward warning
nothing.
or just nonsense. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, or something we don't understand.
Or long-haired man in tattered clothing chained to a wall, head bowed. I mean, he. This is dead and undead, remember? So that's a reasonable description of possibly a zombie, possibly a ghoul. But is it possible that Nash Namaga is what zombies say?
Yeah, maybe it's just a quote.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's just
Mm.
this is his name. I mean, it probably isn't, but it's the best we can get out of him.
Yeah, I'm very torn. Everything in me says no, but there's that underlying feeling. Maybe it's something really good.
Maybe. I'm happy either way. I'm completely torn. So what do you fancy? Do we take the completionist route and say we've done the other two, let's finish the library? We'll finish the library level and get all of the achievements.
That's what it is. That's what that's in me that just wants to do everything. It's the completionist.
Yeah, it's the how
Uh,
many secrets did you find on this level at the end of Tomb Raider?
yeah, definitely. Oh, we put it on a dice, or is it too? Is this too much of a decision?
No, I think
Chat's
that's
being
reasonable.
very quiet. I'm a
Um,
little
then let's
concerned
make the
that nobody
decision
wants to
easier.
stick their neck out.
Would you like saying the words out loud to be odd or even?
I mean, they're quite odd words. So should we say that this is an
Okay.
odd decision to make? It feels like an odd decision to make at this point.
And that is a 4.
There we
So
go.
we will never know. I mean,
Let's
until we
leave the
play it
library.
next time.
I mean, we did turn back on one of our dice rolls, but I feel as though two
Yeah,
times
this one.
this is pushing it 2 in a row.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you can't ride your luck forever.
No.
Okay, so we will leave the library and continue up the corridor. And honestly, I feel okay about that because we do have a little bit of a plan going forward.
Yeah, and that felt like a good room, certainly after
Yeah.
the last one. Yeah,
So,
I like it.
179. You follow the corridor east until it turns left and heads north. This we understood.
Mm-mm.
Around the corner, you see the body of a troll guard propped up against the left-hand wall with a bloodied sword across his lap and a small drawstring bag hanging from his belt.
Ooh.
We can take the sword, take the bag, or keep walking. So I feel this should have been on the map.
I'm not sure it's a permanent fixture.
Maybe not. Yeah.
It strikes me as something that happened after the dungeon was built, which I think that's what you said. The book was detailing.
I mean, I don't truthfully know if you feel the same way. I think the bag is definitely a door.
Yeah. Should we go with the door first, and then see if it gives us the option?
Yeah, why not? Let's try that. Take the bag and see what happens, because this could contain something useful. We'll take the bag and turn to 24, and we've obviously made this decision very quickly, so it will be our doom.
Mm.
Okay. It feels like there are 2 items in the bag, a small ball and a small cube. You loosen the string and empty the contents of the bag into your hand. They are a solid brass ball etched with a dragon motif and a bone die. You put both items in your backpack and then decide what to do. Okay, so we now have a brass ball to go with the copper ball.
With a dragon motif.
Yep. And a bone die. We're doing well on things. I'm not sure how many of them qualify as treasure in the strictest sense, but we're getting stuff. Okay, so we can either pick up the sword or keep walking. Well, we already have a Kragan knife, but I feel you... I have no idea if this sword is cursed or whatever, and we can't possibly afford to take any more curses, but are swords doors?
Two curses so close together feels as though it would be unfortunate.
Yeah, you're right. That does seem like a one-trick dungeon at that point, doesn't it? And as you say, this wasn't supposed to be here. It's not on the map, so this is just random, isn't it? So that implies the sword is probably just a sword.
Yeah, and probably the person who used. I mean, it obviously didn't serve them particularly well, but that's not to say it's not a good sword.
I think honestly, we've probably got to pick it up. I mean, it may cost us something, but we've got to pick it up because otherwise we may get to a bit later on where it'll say, "Did you have a Trollguard sword?" for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're uttering words from a book called Death and the Undead. It's not
Exactly.
that
That
kind
would
of
just be
thing.
nuts.
It's just a sword.
Yeah, it's just a sword. Okay,
Why are we questioning this?
let's do it then. We will pick up the sword and see what happens. The sword pickup number is 345.
Cool.
Okay. The sword was forged long ago by a master swordsmith using the finest steel.
Mm.
You cut it through the air and marvel at its workmanship and fine balance. You have found a legendary Doom sword. If you wish to take the Doom sword, you must leave your own sword behind. Well, gotta say, legendary sword beats whatever knife we were carrying, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I would question the fact whether we have to leave the knife behind. Is a knife a sword?
I think the
Is a
Kragan
sword a
knife we can
door?
keep, but it means, I'm guessing what it means
The
is
other.
there'll be something coming up which says against this enemy, if you're using the Doom sword, it does 3 damage, or possibly 1 damage,
Mm.
depending on the enemy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, should we? Let's do it. I think it's.
Doom sword, I feel Doom sword, yeah.
Yeah, no bad thing.
We have to take the Doom sword because it is legendary and crafted by a master craftsman.
Mm.
Okay, so we shall keep on walking and turn to 145. The corridor soon comes to a dead end. There is a trap door against the wall that lifts up to reveal a dark spiral shaped chute. If you want to slide down the chute, turn to 320, and if you want to walk back, turn to 169. This we know. There is a chute, and we know what's coming at the other end of it, and I think realistically we need to press on, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or go all the way back down to the staircase and then presumably take the corridor, which will lead on to this anyway.
Quite likely.
There might be some danger down the chute, but I think we'll be okay.
Well, the implication from the map is you're supposed to go down the chute and then keep going, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, let's
Let,
give it a shot.
let's do it.
Okay, we will slide down the chute and turn to 320. You climb feet first into the chute and slide down, landing heavily on the rock floor of a tunnel below. Lose 1 stamina point. Well, obviously.
It's not drastic. For the sake of a shortcut, I suppose.
I tend
We
to
can
agree.
assume that we'd probably have lost more than 1 stamina to get to this point if we'd have just
Yeah,
walked down the corridor
we
and opened
probably
some
would.
doors.
Right, where have we gone? Oh, there we go. Lose 1 stamina point. Wondering which way to head, you hear loud stomping footsteps coming from the east end of the tunnel. Okay, you draw your sword and stand ready to face the oncoming creature. Turn to 261. 261. So that means there is an east end of the tunnel as well, which we didn't know about from the map, but that's life.
Yeah, it said it continued north, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's fine. I'll throw in a little eastward tunnel.
The footsteps become quicker and louder, and suddenly a gargantuan beast appears from out of the gloom and stops in front of you, blocking the tunnel. It has a large reptilian head with small eyes fixed on you, and a huge jaw lined with long spiked teeth. It is standing upright on its powerful back legs, ready to strike. Its long tail swishes slowly from side to side, banging against the walls of the narrow tunnel, which causes dust to fall from the ceiling. It is a Raptorex. The creature lets out a deafening roar and it looks intent on devouring you. There is no escaping the giant predator and you have no choice but to fight it. If you are fighting with a Doom Sword, add 2 points to your attack strength during each attack round for this battle only.
Oh, that is good. That's like we're not under a curse, other than our
Essentially, for this battle, we get to play with straight numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the illustration makes it look very clearly like a Utah raptor, roughly. Possibly slightly more muscular and less gracile, like reminiscent of an Allosaurus, but with bigger claws on its feet. And possibly Deinonychus arms. In any event, it looks very Jurassic Park.
Yes, it sounds very eclectic.
So,
but I like it.
Here is the maths on it. It has skill 11
Ooh.
and stamina 10.
Okay, that's not bad.
For this battle only, I have skill 8.
Yeah, mine is 9. I mean, it would have been 11, which would have been really handy had we not been cursed. But alas.
Well, except you do have a Doom Sword.
Yeah, no, sorry. My original was 9. I'm currently on 7, but I get +2, so it is 9.
Okay.
But otherwise, it would have been 9, and
it would have been up to 11. Yeah,
which would have been
good point.
Quite handy.
Right. Okay. So the two of us need to attack and see what we roll. That's a 9 for me, for a total of 17.
Very nice. My apologies. Mine is a 7 for a total of 16.
Okay. And it has rolled an 8 for a total of 19.
Oh.
Now, as I recall, you tend to go odds rather than evens. Is that right?
Yes, I do indeed.
Okay.
Ben. That's all right.
That is evens. It hits me.
Sorry.
That is the way it goes. Right, okay. So, seconds away, round 2. I have rolled a 7 for a total of 15.
Mine is much better. Mine's an 11 for a total of 20.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm still not sure I like the maths on it, but it's better than last time.
And it has rolled a 9 for a total of 20. So the question becomes, does it do nothing to you and vice versa, or does it knock me down again? That's a 5. It goes after you this time.
Ben, am I right in thinking that I can test my luck?
Yes. But I think it's only used to add damage if you hit or reduce damage if you are hit.
Okay.
And
right,
you
don't worry about
tied
that
with
then.
it this time.
Yeah. Sorry, it must have been something else that we played. It might have been the Fighting Fantasy RPG where we played through that you could test your luck to sway maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't worry.
Right. Round 3.
Round 3.
I have rolled a 6, which I'm afraid is not that good. That's a total of 14.
Mine is an 8 for a 17.
Okie dokie. Ooh. It has rolled a 4 for a total of 15. So it's definitely lost 2. The question is, did it hit me or you?
It's about time.
That's a 3. It went for you. So it is now down to 8 stamina, and it didn't hit me. Great.
This is good news.
This is getting better suddenly. Okay.
The tides are turning.
Yes. We've got it on the ropes. Okay, that was a 5 for me for a total of 13.
Mine is a 9 for an 18, please, Ben.
Okay.
These dice tonight.
And that is a 6 for a total of 17. So it's been hit by you and potentially beaten me. Let's see. No, that's a 1. Which means it's gone for you again. It is picking on you and doing so poorly because it's getting close to the point where if it had kept hitting me, it would probably have knocked me out almost by now.
Oh, don't say that, Ben.
Right. So it is down to 6.
Very good.
Okay. My attack is a 5 for a total of 13.
Mine is 7 for a 16, please, which feels
Okay.
not great, seeing as their skill is 11.
And it has an 8 for a total of 19. And it went for you again, I'm afraid. So this time it takes 2 of your stamina.
Okie dokie.
That was a 3 on its decision.
A 14 for me now, stamina. Let's change up those dice.
That's not ideal, but I'm down to 10, so you can feel optimistic about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good. I've rolled a 10. Total of 18.
Very nice. Mine is an 11 for a 20. So
Ooh,
this could
fantastic.
be a good round.
And it has rolled an 11 for a total of 22.
So,
Ah.
I mean, it's going to happen sometimes.
And a 5. I'm afraid it's taken another 2 stamina from you.
That is okay.
Oh, this is not ideal. Okay, on we go.
Let's go.
I have rolled a 5 for a total of 13.
I'm back to a 7 for 16, please.
And it has rolled a 6 for a total of 17.
Mm.
And this time a 6 again, so it's taken me down to 8.
Ooh.
I am in single figures.
This has been the longest, I think, battle for a while.
Yeah, this is a bit Titanic, to be honest. I have rolled an 11.
Oh, nice.
That's
well
wonderful.
done, Ben.
A total of 19.
That is very good. Mine is a 5 for a total of 14, please.
Okay. Oh, God. And it's rolled a 12 for a total of 23. Obviously.
Almost the highest roll you can make in the game.
And the 2, it's knocked off 2 more of my...
Oh, no, Ben.
I'm down to 6. I am actually tied with it on stamina and wildly inferior on skill. Oh, God. And I've rolled a 4, just to, make it really obvious. That gives me a total of 12.
Mine is another 7 for a 16, please.
And it has rolled a 10. So...
for another 20 odd.
And it's rolled a 3 this time, so it goes after you.
Okie dokie.
Knocking you down by 2 more.
Just.
Still, I mean, it's not ideal that either of us get hit, but right now it's slightly more ideal that it goes for you.
Yeah. I would rather that at this point, for sure.
I've rolled a 7 for a total of 15.
Mine is a 6 for a total of 15. So to roll like a 2 now, that'd be great.
And it has rolled an 11 for a total of 22.
Oh, really?
And it's gone for you again, I'm afraid.
Okay. I mean, it's quite impressive. Some impressive rolls, to be fair. It's putting on quite the show of skill.
It is a very dangerous monster, the Raptor X, it turns out.
Very much so.
Okay. Okay.
round something.
Right. I was just wondering, how many stamina are you on now?
I'm on 8, so I'm
Okay,
still.
you're still doing a
like
little
third.
bit better than me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I've rolled an 8 for a total of 16.
I rolled an 11 for a 20.
Wow.
Good. Good news at
Um,
this point.
and it has rolled a 10 for a total of 21.
Of course.
Of course it has.
It's rolling particularly well as well.
It's gone for you again, I'm afraid. So you're now down to 6 as well.
6 each.
And the Raptor
That's
X has
right.
6.
We've still got double its hit points in total.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
way more skill than it.
that's true. But bear in mind, it started with 10 and it's now on 6.
Oh yeah, that's
I
true.
started with 12 and I'm now on 6, and it's chipped you away as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's not good.
I have rolled a 7 for a total of 15.
I too have rolled a 7 for a total of 16.
Oh, for God's sake. It's rolled an 11.
Oh, there's been a lot of 11s
There
and
have.
12s. To be fair, I've had a lot of 11s and 12s as well.
And it
must
rolled
be
a
said.
5. It went after you.
Okie dokie. That'll be
We just
2
need
more.
a little bit of luck because we're not that
There's
far
one-
off in terms of skill. I mean, we are weaker, but not that much
Yeah,
weaker.
yeah. A couple of mid rolls for us and a bad roll for it would be okay.
And I have rolled a 7, total of 15.
Mine is also a 7 for 16, please.
It's an 11 again.
Whoa. Your dice, Ben.
A total of 22. I think that's like 3 11s on the trot and a couple more before that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's a 2. It went for me this time. I'm down to 4.
Whew.
Okay. I'm just holding out hope there's a double 1 coming up for it, because we could then knock it down with like 2 hits in a single round.
Yeah. I mean, I'd take a 3 or a 4.
Okay, I have rolled an 8 for a total of 16.
Nice. Mine is a 9 for a total of 18.
And it has rolled a 9 for a total of 20.
Oh, so close.
And that's a 1. It's gone after you.
Okie dokie.
What are you down to?
Yes, 2.
2.
2 being the optimum word. What are you down to? No, I'm just on 2.
2. I'm on 4. Okay.
Right. Gotta get some.
Now
I
roll
think
an
our rolls have
attack.
been okay, actually. They've probably been above. Oh, that's the one. It's about time.
I've rolled a 6 for a total of 14.
I have rolled a 12
Fantastic.
for a 21, please. And it rolls an 11.
It has rolled a 5.
Ooh.
Now that's a total of 16, so it's beaten me and lost to you. And it's gone odd, so it aimed at you as well, which means I don't take any hit, and you knock it down by
Wonderful.
2. It is down
That's
to
what
4.
we need.
We needed one of those. That was good.
So as a quick recap, I am 1 hit away from death.
Yeah,
Ben, you are 2.
I'm 2. However,
As is the raptor.
if I take a hit, I think I'm at the point where I'm going to burn through luck points trying to reduce them to 1 each time now.
Oh yeah, that's true. I would probably do that. I mean, my luck's at 3, so it's not. The odds aren't in my favour, but it's worth a roll.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Mine's lousy. I rolled a 5.
Mine is a 10 plus 9 for a 19.
Okay, mine is a 13. And it has rolled a 9, I'm afraid. Could be decisive.
Beats
That's a
both of us.
20 total.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, now that's even, so it went for me.
Oh,
So I'm going to test my luck because I actually got a fair amount of luck. I've got an 11 luck.
yeah. It's better to get a couple of tries of it if you need it. That makes sense. Oh no! Oh, would you
1 in
believe it?
36 chance. So I now have 10 luck and
Yeah,
2 stamina.
but you get another chance to roll under a 10.
Yeah.
So that's that a 1 in 36.
Statistically, it's reasonably likely
yeah.
I'll
It's
get
a
at
much
least
longer
2
shot
more
that you
hits.
don't make both of them.
Okay, my
Right.
next attack. This could work. I've got a 10 here, so that's a
Nice.
total of 18. That's not too bad for me.
Well, I have a 9, so that is also a total of 18.
I need a lousy roll here. So it rolled an 11.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, correct me if my maths is wrong, but I make that a 22, Ben, which
Yeah.
is more than 18. Is that correct?
It would be more than 18
Yeah.
and more than 19
Oh yeah, sorry.
and even more than 20. Right. This could very much come down to this roll because if this is odds, you're probably done. If it's evens, I've probably got one more round. It's a 2.
Is it? Oh.
Which means I now have to test my luck.
Is it less than or equal to?
Less than or equal
is it
to.
less
So
than? Okay.
10 or lower, I'm still in the fight with 1 stamina. That's a 6. Okay. So that costs me
Well played.
a luck down to 9, and I am now 1 on stamina. 1
I can't
feels
remember
low
a
though.
fight being this close.
Yeah.
I think the last time we were poisoned or cursed and died horribly because our stats were
Yep.
nerfed, it wasn't actually this close. It was just a walkover.
Okay. So, potentially last one. I've rolled a 5. That's a total of 13.
Mine is an 8 for a 17.
It's rolled a 10 for a total of 21.
Wonderful. Let's warm up some dice.
First question is
roll.
basically, if it hits me, then even if I were to pass my luck check, I'm done.
Yeah.
If it hits you, then there is a theoretical possibility, however slim, that you could survive.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's a 4. It's gone for me.
Oh.
So I am dead. However, I have faith in you.
Thanks, Finn. Thanks.
I'm sure you will carry the day.
That is a 9 for a total of 18.
Okay. And that is a 7, also for a total of 18.
Ooh.
Okay.
We go again. That is much better. That'll be a 12 plus 9, please, Ben.
Ooh, fantastic. And this is an 8. So that means it is down to 2.
2?
Yes, it's down to 2.
2 each.
Yeah. I have confidence. You're going to do this.
Okay. That's a 9 plus 9 for an 18. It's not great, but...
That's a 9 plus 11.
Oh!
Okay.
Which is more than... let's test my luck. Then.
You have to test your luck. We'll see. It's always possible.
2 dice, 3 or under. It is indeed. No. That'll be a 7 on the dice, I am afraid.
Okay.
And as such, I take 2 full damage.
So,
Wouldn't have even mattered
unfortunately,
if I had have taken my potion of luck, which is good to know.
unfortunately, we did not thrive in the dungeon on Blood Island. We did not succeed. And additionally,
I think we did really well to the mirror. Yeah, go on.
You know, I tend to agree. I think up to the mirror we did well, and then we made what seemed like a logical choice, but it didn't ultimately serve us well.
Yeah.
However, I suppose first thing is, I thought that was a really fun adventure. I liked it. I thought it played well. It was fun to be part of.
It was really good. I enjoyed the beginning sequence. It was really good. Like
Yeah.
a little bit of a tutorial, but also, felt like getting here was an accomplishment. We made a friend along the way who's probably still out there, just about to get the golden orb of Fang.
Quite possibly, though I should point out he may be desperately in need of a copper ball, a brass ball, a ring, a bell, and a kraken knife, which are all currently in the digestive systems of a Raptorex.
Oh, well, yeah, even worse.
So yes, hopefully he doesn't need any of those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like this one. I thought this was a fun setting. I think, as you say, it felt like a bit of an accomplishment to get to the dungeon itself, and then the actual dungeon was fun to play through. And if we hadn't picked the wrong thing with the mirror, I am reasonably optimistic that we would still be playing at this point.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, definitely. There was. It felt an accomplishment to get to this point, but not quite as deadly as the secondary iteration of Death Trap Dungeon, where we died twice in the preamble to get here.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
But also really well balanced when we were here.
Yes.
I mean that last fight could have gone either way. There were lots of good rolls on both sides, I think.
I feel there was that moment. We both rolled 18, and it was down to 4, I think, at that point. And we only needed it to have one really bad roll, and it
average.
Yeah, it only needed to be a 6.
Yeah,
and
that would have been it.
And that would have been it. Fight over, and we'd have had the opportunity to pop up a couple of provisions and get moving again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I still certainly had lots of provisions.
Yeah, I've got 7 left.
So, yeah.
So truthfully, I don't think. I don't think we got quite the luck we needed tonight. But
which happens.
It does
from time to time.
And I actually don't feel bad about that one, because I think when we play it again, we will remember not to look in the mirror, because that, as it turned out, I mean, I should know this. When I look in mirrors, it never ends well for me. So
it's never pleasant for me either, to be fair.
It's not a good experience. So generally speaking, yeah, that was unlucky. Yes, hi, Crit.
Crit.
Yes, I'm sorry. We died just a moment ago
used to show up and would be dead.
to a sort of a dinosaur monster called a Raptorex. We were playing this one, the brand new in Livingston, the dungeon on Blood Island. However, I think the next time we do one of these, we should have another go at this one.
Well, I was going to say, I think we're both agreed that we should come back to it, but I'd be quite happy to come straight back to it, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think this is worth just having another go immediately, or I mean, maybe we'll change just to one other and then come back. But we'll discuss it, but I think it's well worth another go and fairly soon because this was excellent.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're not worried about spoilers for it, Crit, for one of the newest one, then tune in next time or watch the VOD if you want some fun of watching Ben and us die. I mean, most of the fun is had when you show up and we're already dead. To be fair.
Yes,
But,
yeah. This one did not fall our way. We came a couple of times quite close to beating the Raptor X, but it's a monster with skill 11, and those are tough if you're not really stacked up with numbers.
yeah, skill is important. Sure.
Yeah. Yes, I know that. Mine is currently 6, and also
Mine is current.
dead.
Yeah, I was going to say mine's probably 0 by this point, but hey.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that book in the library will reanimate us.
Yeah. We're just going to wait for someone to read the words in Dead and Undead, Dead and the Undead.
Yes. Yeah, maybe that's all it takes.
Any day now.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. Now, we do have a sort of bit of housekeeping to do before we go tonight because
that's true.
Next weekend things are a bit different. We will not be streaming next weekend at all. So, many apologies for that. On Friday, we are deep in preparation for a game we're running in the real world on Saturday. And then on Saturday evening, we will be drunk, having finished that game.
Yeah.
And more importantly, deep in preparation for a live theatre show we're doing on Sunday. And accordingly, we won't be able to actually stream next weekend. So heartfelt apologies for that. Very sorry about that. And I hope you'll forgive us and rejoin us in a couple of weeks' time.
If not the first, one of a handful of the only weekends where we've done nothing.
Yeah.
In Baltic Star history.
It isn't common, is it? Oh,
3-ish
except for
years.
the conventions, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will miss it, but we will be back shortly after, for sure. And I believe back with... No, maybe not back with Traveller. We'll confirm. I think I'm away that weekend.
Okay, yes.
That's poor timing on my part.
It is the way it is.
C'est la vie, as Bewitched would say.
As they would. So what we will do is we will obviously confirm closer to the time, but next weekend, no Traveller on Friday and nothing on Saturday either. But the weekend after, we'll be doing something on Friday and Saturday. We just don't know what it is yet. Okay? Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us live or on VOD. It's been a pleasure. And I think we'd both actually quite heartily recommend this book. It's been great fun playing through.
Yeah, very much so.
And given that this is a brand new 2024 published fighting fantasy book, I mean, that's excellent. And, there's a lot of books in here, most of which we played, to be fair. But not all of them. There are a few we haven't.
Is that one numbered? Does that have a number in the newer order?
Yes, in the newer series, because the old series got past 50. In the new series, this is number 22. But to be fair, we've done, just at first glance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 16, and now 22. So we've done a fair few of them anyway, because they're not always the same numbering as the original ones.
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned they sort of changed it up a little bit, didn't they?
So, I mean, Return to Firetop Mountain was number 50, famously, in the original series, because it was like the celebratory
Mm.
50th book. In this
Yeah.
series, it's number 16.
Which implies a reorder more than a cutting of some books, to me at least.
Yes, quite potentially. I mean, there may be others still to come out, or they may just have released ones they consider to be their best or their favourites.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
yeah, I mean, Starship Traveller isn't on this list, for example, but Appointment with Fear is.
I very much enjoyed Starship Traveller.
Yeah, me too.
Was a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So,
Indeed.
yes, thank you very much. We
Done
will
right.
bid everyone a good night, and I will go and stare blankly at the wall and try to imagine what life could have been if we'd actually found out what we do with a copper ball with a dragon engraving and a brass ball with a dragon engraving.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us, Crypt, by the way. Sorry we died shortly before you arrived. But at least it's in keeping with Baltic Star tradition, I suppose. Of fighting fantasy, at least.
It definitely is on our brand, isn't it?
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you, Ewan. That was a treat.
Thank you, Ben.
And
Always.
and we will bid you a good night and hope to catch some of you at least in a couple of weeks after we've had our weekend of live performances and live games, which is very exciting for us, but I'm aware it's a bit of a disappointment for those who come to watch us at the weekends.
Yes, yeah. But we look forward to 2 weeks and coming back to do what we normally do, or maybe 3 for me. We'll double check.
Quite possibly. We'll work it out. We'll be doing something in 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
So, good night all.
Good night, everyone.